screening committee which works every year to receive applications for GOCOP memberships every year. This year we received I think 35 applications, and we were only able to approve I think 8, just 8. So, and in the process of application, a number of us here were involved. That meant you gave recommendation to people. Because as part of the process, applicants must be recommended by 2 existing members, up to date members. People who are financially up to date and have not been sanctioned by GOCOP, because GOCOP also has a disciplinary committee. So if you've been disciplined, you will not be able to recommend people for membership. So, but what we found in the past few years is that even members seems not to be aware of the constitutional provision for membership of GOCOP. At times, you find people recommending people who are not qualified at all. And when these people are then disqualified or their membership not approved, you now find members making calls to the committee or to the president and all of that, begging that their friends should be taken. I want to make an appeal that GOCOP membership is not about friendship. It's a constitutional matter. Whether you know the person or you don't, once the person qualifies by the guideline that you too can interpret, the person will definitely, of course, the committee can make an error, as it has happened a number of times, and when appeals are filed, the committee will take another look at such an application, and then the person can, like, you will see that I think initially this year only 3 or 4 people passed, and then there were several appeals, and then we look at the complaints of those people. They provided additional documentation. Now let me talk about, just briefly, one key requirement for GOCOP membership is that you must have a company that is a media set up for media, for publishing. You cannot set up, for instance, an oil and gas company as we have this year. Some people are, perhaps they've been in trading, the merchant or construction, and then they will apply for GOCOP membership. The Constitution specifically says that any company that must be a publisher must be in that line. Then, apart from that, that company must have been in existence for at least 3 years. In addition, the publication itself must have been publishing consistently for 3 years. So if you published 3 years ago and you stop publishing, and then last year you put one post, and then another day you put one post, the committee will look at your consistency. And if you are fond of their complaints that you're using this for blackmail, that would be another issue. So we will look at your consistency. What kind of publications are you doing? Are you just a rumor monger or something? So the content will be looked at. So if you do not qualify for the 3-year rule, there is no way you will be allowed. Then you must have a functioning office where you can be found. Under Nigerian law, if you commit a crime as a member of GOCOP, the government has to be able to trace you, law enforcement. So you have to show evidence of that you have an office. Of course, you may argue that a number of businesses now operate online, but GOCOP constitution has not been amended. That's what it says. And then it cannot be a one-man army, a one-man show. If you are a publisher, it's a business. So you have to show evidence that you have staff working for you. If you don't have staff, you are still a one-man something growing gradually. You wait until you grow to the stage that you can join GOCOP. So another thing that we've seen is that people will just come from any, of course, you know, as anybody can join GOCOP. You don't have to be a journalist. If you are a billionaire and you want to start a business of media, you can simply start and join GOCOP. That's not a problem. But where the problem lies is a requirement in GOCOP constitution that if you are setting up a newspaper and you are not a former journalist, even when you are a former journalist, you must have been at a managerial level before you can be considered a publisher. That's what the constitution says. But let's assume you are not, you are just an oil and gas man who has a lot of money. You want to start business. You will not qualify for GOCOP membership because it's a publisher association. It's not a journalist association. Unless you have a qualified journalist working for you who has not less than 10 years and who has worked in an existing media organization for at least 10 years. So people will come here and argue that this is a publisher. Say, okay, where is your editor? And if you say you are the editor and then you are a special advisor to a governor somewhere, GOCOP will not admit you because it means that you are not full-time. Even if you are a former editor, you are somewhere special assistant, we will consider you a publisher because you can be anything if you are a publisher. But where is the man running the publication full-time on your app? Who is qualified to do so? So I'm saying all of this so that we are very careful. It's always a shame when we see that people who are not qualified at all are given recommendation letter by our own members. So when people ask for recommendation from you, please ask the appropriate questions and be convinced that these people qualify. We will begin to recommend disciplinary process for members who know because they are members, maybe they are your brother or they are your, and you just give people when you know they are not qualified. So I think that's why the president has asked me to make this, because maybe if they begin to recommend people, members who do these kind of things, and people who pressure, there are some members who pressure the committee too much. I don't want to mention names. No, there is no need at this point. Maybe from next year, you don't need to pressure the committee. If your members or relatives or anybody qualify, they will automatically be admitted to GOCOP. I hope we are all proud of the GOCOP that we have. It is because of this gatekeeping. If we don't, the organization will be destroyed. No one will, the Zenith man, the raw material man here, they will not come here. So if we want to be as decent as we've been in the past 10 years or so, I think we must maintain this standard. Thank you.